We're talking about negative doubles today. Those of you who are of a certain age will remember that when the Russians first launched their satellite into orbit, it was called Sputnik. And that was about the time that Roth and Stone developed this so-called takeout double for responders. And they called it Sputnik. After a while, that name kind of fell out of favor, and it's just been known as the negative double ever since. Now, the main thing that you need to remember about a negative double, it is a takeout double used by, I think that most of you know what a takeout double is. That is the double used by the person who sits in the overcaller's position when he's short. So those rules are different from the rules for the negative double. So to use the negative double, partner has to have opened, and then there must be an overcall. Both bids should be suit bids. If the overcaller bids no trump, then conventionally the double of one no trump overcall is for penalty, although you and your partner may have a different agreement. In general, the double of a strong no trump is for penalty and not for takeout. But this is, if you and your partner want to play that it's for takeout, then you can certainly have that agreement, but it will not be commonplace. What in the world does the responder have to use a negative double, and why is this important? Well, first off, he has to have enough to enter the bidding, which means 6 points. Now, 6 points is the absolute minimum required. And depending on how the auction has gone, it also promises at least 4 cards in one of the unbid suits. If one of the major suits has not been bid, the negative double should always show that suit. If both majors are unbid, then at the 1 level, double shows 4 cards in both of them. In other words, 1 club, 1 diamond by the overcaller, double by responder says, I have 4 hearts and 4 spades. If you don't have 4 cards in each unbid suit, you bid the one you have. If you have one, not only can you show 4 card major suits with a negative double, it can also show a 5 card major suit that is too weak to bid the suit directly. In other words, maybe he has to go to the 2 level. For instance, partner opens a club, overcaller bids a spade, and you're sitting there with 5 hearts and only 8 points in your hand. Too weak to bid hearts at the 2 level. The negative double can also show that hand as well. The thing to remember, though, is if your partner has opened a major suit, if you have support, you support. If you use the negative double when partner has opened with a major suit, then using the negative double denies support for partner's major suit openings, because it is so important to show that major suit fit first if you are a minimum hand. So here's an example. Your partner opens a diamond, right-hand opponent bids a spade, and you're sitting here with 8 points, not unreasonable at all. You know that you and partner have at least half the points in the deck. To bid 2 hearts, not only do you need 10 points, what to do? Well, this is a wonderful hand for a negative double because it has unbid major and it has 4 cards in the unbid minor. This is a classic responder's hand that double. Note, we're still at the 1 level. 8 points are plenty to double. Partner opened, you have 8 points. You should be safe at the 2 level. If he has 4 hearts, he'll bid 2 hearts. In effect, he is raising the heart suit that you have shown. You didn't bid hearts, but by using the negative double, you're showing 4 hearts and at least tolerance for the 3-card support. We happen to have 4-card support here, which is even better. But you could do this with only 3 clubs and 3 diamonds in your hand if that were necessary. Here's another example. Partner opens a diamond, right-hand opponent bids a heart. This is not a very pretty spade suit, and a lot of people would just not be comfortable at all bidding it. I have bid suits like this and had my partner table the ace, king, queen in my suit. So I'm no longer afraid to show something like this spade suit. If you use a negative double here, double shows 4 cards in the unbid major and 3 or 4 cards in the unbid minor. Well, that's exactly what we have again. Double shows 4 spades. If partner has 4 spades, then he will know that you have a spade set. In this instance, that's what you would like to do. I would like for my partner to bid 1 spade over my double, if at all possible. But if he bids clubs, I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with that too. He may have 4 diamonds and 4 clubs, in which case we have an 8-card fit in clubs. Not our first choice of where to play, but hey, a fit is a fit, right? Just like Janet and I were talking before we started with this lesson, we don't always have a perfect bid or hard and fast rules because no bidding system is perfect. That means that the responder will not always have the right hand for a negative double. If there is an unbid major, using the negative double should always, always, always show 4 cards in that unbid major and tolerance, as I said, for the unbid minor. If the responder doesn't have a suitable second suit, which will usually be a minor, obviously, he needs to have a hand that's good enough to be able to bid something else, like, for instance, no trump. That would mean that he would need a stopper in the opponent's suit. So, for instance, 1 diamond by partner, 1 heart by your right-hand opponent, and here you sit. You have 9 high card points. You have 4 diamonds. You also have 4 cards in the unbid major. So with this hand, if you have to, if partner denies 4 spades by bidding clubs, you can take a preference for his first bid suit, because 4-card diamond support is considered support for a 1 diamond opening, because 97% of the time when your partner opens 1 diamond, he will have at least 4 of them if you bid according to the convenient minor structure that we've talked about previously. That is, you bid your longer minor, or if you have 3 of each, you open with a club. If you have 4 of each, you open with a diamond. If you follow those rules, then 97% of the time, your partner who opens a diamond will have at least 4 of them. That means if he doesn't have 4 spades with this hand, you can go back to diamonds. You don't have to have a stopper in hearts, because you can go back by taking a preference to partner's first bid suit. Now then, here's a hand that has 4 cards in the unbid major, but it doesn't have the required number of cards in the minors. This hand is still suitable for the negative double, because if partner bids clubs, and that has to show only 4, this would rate to show 5 diamonds and 4 clubs. You don't necessarily want to play a 4-3 fit in clubs with this hand, but you do have a stopper in hearts, and you have enough points to invite partner to game in no trump by bidding to no trump. Notice this is a stronger hand than the one that was shown previously. When you have a minimum hand, responding hand, you don't have the option of bidding to no trump, because when you bid to no trump, that's not to play. It's not forcing, but you're inviting your partner to bid 3 no trump if he has a maximum for his opening 12 to 14, let's say. So, but this card right here, the Ace of Hearts, is critical. You must have a stop in the opponent's suit to be able to bid to no trump. And you need 10-ish points at least. I wouldn't do it with 9. I would say 10 or 11 would be the minimum. And this is a balanced hand. If partner does not bid spades following your negative double, you can comfortably bid to no trump with this hand. But now notice, not every hand is suitable for a negative double. This hand is not suitable for a negative double because it doesn't have 4 cards in spades, the unbid major. Partner will have every right to assume that you have 4 spades if you double. So don't double without 4 of the unbid major. The only thing you can bid here is 1 no trump. Notice 1 no trump by responder does not necessarily promise a stopper in the opponent's suit. It only says, I have enough to bid, but I don't have enough to bid at the 2 level. I can't raise your suit. I cannot bid the unbid major. 1 no trump is the I don't have catch-all response. And that is what you would bid here. Now, if partner doesn't have partner should be aware that you don't have a heart stop. Maybe your left-hand opponent will bid 2 hearts. Who knows? In that case, if partner doesn't have a heart stop, he can retreat from the bidding. Now then, if using the negative double shows 4 cards in spades on this option that I have shown, then what do you do when you have 5 of them? Well, now, when your right-hand opponent has bid 1 heart as an overcaller, 1 spade by you now shows 5 of them. Finally, there is a way available to the responder to differentiate between a 4-card spade suit and a 5-card spade suit, even with a minimum responding hand. So for instance, when the auction goes 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 spade, this promises 5 spades, and partner can comfortably raise with only 3. But note, if he has only 4 spades, he uses the negative double. Now, is there ever a time when a negative double could be for penalty? Well, it depends on how high you want to play negative doubles. The standard American yellow card, which is just a set of agreements that are considered standard, it's the convention card that's yellow there on the table at the club, states that double by responder is negative only through 2 spades. Every pair I know plays it higher than that. I play it through 5 diamonds. Larry Cohen says there should be no ceiling on the negative double, that any double in that situation, when there have been 2 suits bid, should be negative. Now, you have to have the suitable number of points to use it. Obviously, I'm not going to use the negative double over 5 diamonds if I only have 6 points in my hand. I mean, you have to be sensible about it. Your partner with a minimum opening hand and you have 6 points, you don't have a prayer of making anything over 5 diamonds. That's what those preemptive bids do. They're very effective, and that's why people use them so much. 5 diamonds is not the only option out there. Some people use 3 spades. Some people use 4 hearts, but this is a matter of partnership agreement. So you should discuss it with your partner and say, when does double by the responder become a penalty double and not negative? In other words, how high are we going to play a negative double? Here's an example. Your partner opens a diamond and your very rude right-hand opponent jumps in there with 3 hearts. Very obstructive bid and very effective. But if you're sitting here holding this hand with 11 high card points, a 5-card diamond suit, and 4 spades, you suspicion that you and your partner may have a spade fit. But that right-hand opponent's jumping in there with 3 hearts makes it more difficult to find the spade fit. Now, if you only play that double here is negative through 2 spades, you have a big problem. You need a 5-card suit to bid a new major suit at the 3 level. If you need a 5-card suit to bid a new suit at the 2 level, you sure need one to bid it at the 3 level. So if double it by you is penalty, you don't have a good alternative. You certainly don't want to double 3 hearts with only 2 small hearts. And you would just be guessing that 4 diamonds is the right contract. It could be very well that your partner has 4 spades and that you belong in 4 spades. But if you play that negative doubles are only on through 2 spades, you don't have a good choice, or you're forced to guess. But if you play negative doubles through 3 spades or 4 diamonds or 5 diamonds, you can pull out the double card. If partner bids clubs, you have diamond support. I would call that diamond support any day of the week. So you are entirely safe in using a negative double here. So as long as you have agreed with your partner that that's what double means. So how much does the doubler need? Oh, Ella has her hand up. Ella, what's your question?
Why would that person on page 9 not support the diamond by his partner? Because
I always want to find a major suit fit. I'm always looking for a major suit fit. I do have diamond support, but I can double. If my partner has 4 spades, we will find our spade fit. But if he bids something else, I can rebid diamonds. If he doesn't have 4 spades, I can always retreat to diamonds. That's why the negative doubler needs to have another option besides the unbid major suit. He needs a place to retreat if he and partner don't find a fit in the unbid major. And in this case, the soft spot to land is the diamond suit. I'm not ever going to cover up the opportunity to find a 4-4 major suit fit by supporting my partner's minor suit open. I never do that. Even if I have 6 points and my partner opens 1 diamond and I have 5 diamonds and I have 4 hearts or 4 spades, I am mentioning the major suit first before I take a preference back to his minor. I always want to try to find a major suit fit first. That's the way I play, Ella. And that's because my first choice of a place to play is an 8-card major suit fit. If my partner and I don't have an 8-card major suit fit, then I'm willing to play no trump. And playing in the minor is a very distant third in my hierarchy. You may have a different one, but I'm out for the best score that I can get given the hands that my partner and I have together. And that's generally going to be in playing a major suit. That's my philosophy. You and your partner may have a different one, and you're certainly free to do that. I don't recommend it, but you're certainly free to play it that way if you want to. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. But can you play no trump in that particular hand?
Well, no, obviously I can't bid no trump. I mean, that's my second choice, but I'm not going to rebid no trump because that would be promising a heart stop. I'm going to retreat to diamonds if my partner does not bid spades. That's when I will support my partner's diamonds. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. You bet. All right. Now then, obviously, to use a negative double, the responder has to have sufficient strength to compete at the level where he is forcing a partner. Well, that's a nice statement, but it's not very clear on its face. So here's an example. Your partner opens a heart, right-hand opponent bids 2 diamonds. If you have 4 spades and 4 clubs and decides to use the negative double, partner could bid at the 2 level if he has spades with you, right? He can bid 2 spades. But if he doesn't have spades, he will have to go to the 3 level to bid club. So this may give a lot of you pause. Say I only have 8 or 9 points. Is that enough? Well, I prefer to be an optimist here and say, I think my partner's going to bid spades. I hope he has 5 hearts and 4 spades. I'm going to say that I think he could probably bid at the 2 level. Some people would call that aggressive, and maybe it is. But I always take the attitude that my partner's going to be able to bid at the cheapest level. Does that get me into trouble sometimes? Once in a while it does, yes. But nothing is perfect. I could be overly conservative the other way and miss a lot of opportunities to find that 4-4 spade fit here that I'm looking for. So when you think about it in that context, responder needs 6 to 9 points to compete at the 1 or 2 level. In other words, if by doubling, if your partner wants to take a preference to your unbid minor by bidding 2 clubs, then 6 to 9 points is still adequate. If it happens that you're going to have rebid 2 no trump, you need to have 10 points at the minimum, the absolute minimum, because at the two no trump level, we have we left the part score level and entered the invitational level. That means you need to have an invitational responding hand to bid it, because 2 no trump is never to play there. It's forward going, but never forcing. Partner can pass, but he can also bid 3 no trump. So you need to be sure that you have at least 10 points if you're going to think you might have to rebid 2 no trump. And then you need to have 12 or more for any level that's any higher than 2 no trump. In other words, you need to have virtually an opening hand if your partner is going to have to bid at the 3 level when you have used a negative double. If you think about it in those terms, there's no glass ceiling on the negative double. Your partner can be sitting over there with 20 points and still use the negative double to try to locate a 4-4 major suit fit, for instance. So he could be interested in slam, or he could have only 6 points. All that responder has to do is have enough to compete at the level to which he is forcing his partner. If he has more, he can bid again. So here's an example of a hand that has more than just the common garden variety 6 points. This hand has, let's see, 5 and 4, 9, 11 high card points. This is definitely an invitational hand. But since right hand opponent bids spades, I cannot respond to hearts. I have the points, but I only have 4 hearts. So if I double and partner makes a minimum rebid, say that would be 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, or 2 hearts, depending, with invitational strength, you can raise a level. You don't pass. Partner has an opening hand. You have close to an opening hand with shortness in the opponent's suit. So you can raise to the 3 level no matter what suit he bids in response. Now, what if the right hand opponent had used the weak jump overcall and bid 2 spades instead of 1 spade? You can still use a negative double over a weak jump overcall. But if you have a hand like this that has 11 points in it, if partner bids 3 hearts, that's the minimum level for him. He knows that when you have used the negative double over a 2 spade overcall, that you have enough to compete to the 3 level. With a minimum hand, he bids only 3, not 4. And then if he bids only 3, then responder needs to pass. You showed your values when you doubled over that 2 spade bid, forcing your partner to the 3 level. You showed your values. When you have a story to tell, you only tell it once. Once you start telling a story a second time, you're in trouble. You're liable to get too high. So that's the way you bid with an invitational hand here, to show partner that you have an invitational hand and exactly 4 hearts, not 5. Well, this brings up another question. What if that right-hand opponent had been really obnoxious and bid 3 spades instead of 2 spades? The problem when the opponents have the spade suit is that they probably own the hand. I mean, after all, it's the highest ranking suit. And if you use a negative double over 3 spades, the partnership is most likely committed to gain. If your partner has hearts with you, that may be a bit of an overbid. But remember, the preemptor's hand is weak. When you're weak with few points, but you have a long suit, you take up a lot of bidding space to make life difficult for the opponents. And that's exactly what a 3 spade bid would do here. You hate to be shut out by something like that. If you're nervous about it, take a deep breath. It takes nerve to double over a 3 spade overcall like that. But this game belongs to the bidders. Now, if the vulnerability is unfavorable, think again before you do it. this kind of situation often happens when the opponents are not vulnerable and you are. That makes it a very comfortable sacrifice for them to jump in here with a preempt like that. And so you have to think, is it going to be worth my while? Because I may be trading a positive score and setting 3 spades for a negative score when we can't make 4 hearts. I don't know. This is why we play the game. We have to get experience, and the only way to get experience is by play. You learn to recognize situations when they occur again and again. If the right-hand opponent, the partner of the preemptor, jumps to 4 spades, and you and your partner only play negative doubles through 4 diamonds or 4 hearts, now the double should be for penalty. Given that your right-hand opponent preempted and the left-hand opponent just extended the preempt, a penalty double here is likely to be successful, given the fact that your partner opened, but you have only an invitational hand. That could make it hard to take 10 tricks, but this becomes a matter of judgment, and judgment comes from experience, and every hand is different. Now then, so here's a summary. 1 club, 1 diamond, double by responder, promises 4 hearts and 4 spades. If you have 4 cards and only one of the suit, you bid that suit. Conversely, if your partner opens 1 diamond and your right-hand opponent bids 2 clubs, double by you now promises only 1 4-card suit. I didn't know this for years, 2 or 3 years. When I first started playing negative doubles, I thought I had to have both of them, just like with this first situation. Ron Hinkey taught me better. But if partner bids the one you don't have, you either have to be prepared to rebid 2 no trump or retreat to 3 of partner's minor suit. That's what's going to happen on this auction. So this means that on this auction, you need 10 points to double here. Even though it's only at the 2 level, it's because you could very well end up playing 2 no trump or 3 of partner's minor, and you need to have 10 points in order for your partner to have a chance. If your partner opens 1 of a minor, your right-hand opponent bids a heart and you double, you are showing exactly 4 spades, as well as tolerance either for the unbid minor or for partner's minor that he opened. One of the 2. This promises 4 cards in the unbid major and at least tolerance for the unbid minor or for partner's minor. Now then, how does the opener rebid after responder has used a negative double? Well, obviously, if he has 4 cards in the major suit that responder showed, he's going to bid it. And he will bid
Susan?
it dictated by the strength in his hand.
Susan, can we stop and let me ask a quick question?
Of course, go right ahead.
Okay, so the 1 diamond, 2 club bid, you said, I got lost. Why does it only promise 1 4-card major on that one?
That's just the way the convention is. If you have to promise both 4-card majors here, you're not going to get to use the negative double very often, are you?
Is it because of the 2 club bid that it's at the 2
Yes.
level? Okay.
Yes. You're at the 2 level.
Okay.
It just becomes, well, I hardly ever got to use the negative double in this situation when I played that it showed 4 of each. And there's no telling how many contracts that we played in the wrong place. By we, I mean whatever partner I had that day and I, because I didn't know that I only had to have 1 4-card major suit here. But if you miss, in other words, you don't find a fit, you have to be prepared to play either 2 no trump or 3 of partner's minor suit. That's why to use the negative double in this situation, 10 points is an absolute necessity. An absolute. Now then, Once responder has used the negative double and the bidding comes back around to the opener, if there's a fit, if he's found a fit in the unbid major suit, then he bids that suit at the level dictated by the strength of his hand. If he has a minimum opening hand, he'll bid it at the cheapest level. If he has an invitational opening hand, he will show that by jumping a level. And if he has a big old hand, in other words, 19 to 21 pointer, the one that's just beneath the 2-club opener, he'll just bid the game, because after all, partner responded at least, or promised at least 6 points when he responded with a negative double. If there is no fit, he has other options. If he has a 6-card suit, he can rebid it. If he has a stopper in the opponent's suit, he can bid no trump at the appropriate level. He can bid a new suit naturally. And in this situation, if he reverses the hand, it still promises a hand worth at least 17 points. With a strong, balanced hand that does not have a stopper in the opponent's suit, he Q bids the opponent's suit, asking partner, hey, I don't have that major you showed over there, and I have a good, strong, balanced hand, but I don't have a stopper in their suit. Do you? Or as a last resort, in other words, nothing else works, you can bid partner's major suit with only 3-card support. It may not be a lot of fun when you play it, because you'll be playing a 4-3 fit, and that isn't ideal. The odds are good that one of the opponents will have 4 trumps in his hand, just like the dummy will. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. If it turns out to be a disaster, play it as fast as you can, or when the dummy hits the table, you excuse yourself and go to the bathroom. But, you know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. So here's some examples of what I just said. 1 diamond by West, 1 heart by your right-hand opponent, double by you, pass, and this is partner's hand. Notice he has a minimum opening hand here. He can count a little bit for the shortness in clubs because he knows there's a spade fit. But he still has a minimum, even counting for shortness. It's still a minimum hand because there are only 12 high card points in his hand. So he rebids 1 spade. Now, in this situation, the hand is stronger. He has a singleton in the opponent's bid suit. He has 4 very nice cards in that major that you showed, and a hand that is invitational opening strength. So he shows that to his partner by jumping. That shows 4 spades and a hand worth 16 to 18 points by opener. Notice how much easier that makes it for East to judge whether to pass or go on. Now then, if he has 18 or 19 points, like this hand, then he should rebid 3 spades. Look at those spades he has. I mean, that's wonderful. But remember, the only thing that responder promised was 4 cards in the unbid major. He didn't say they were good cards, just that he had 4. 18 to 19 points, jump to the 3 level. And here is this hand that is pretty awkward to bid. These 4-4-4-1 hands can just be the pits. But he opens a diamond. Right-hand opponent still bids a heart. And now when you double showing 4 spades and at least 6 points, partner's just going to bid the game. He's going to have a hand worth about 20 points. Now here's a hand that doesn't have 4 card spade support or heart support. The bidding goes 1 club, North bids a spade, East bids the double, showing either only 4 hearts or 5 hearts, but insufficient points to bid at the 2 level. South passes, and now West says, well, okay, I don't have 4 hearts, but I do have coverage in the opponent's suit. I have a minimum opening hand. He shows that by bidding 1 no trump. This is if you're playing a 15 to 17 no trump. If you play a weak no trump, then obviously this is it. You would have opened a no trump with this hand. But for playing 15 to 17 no trumps, this one no trump bid here shows 11 to 14 high card points because there are people who are opening 11-point hands. Yes, Susie?
The top example is not forcing, right?
Not forcing. That's right. That's exactly right. Remember, responder is the one who forces with a new suit, not the opener. So that is not forcing. Invitational bids are forward going, but never forcing. Good point. Thank you. Now then, if the opener has more than a minimum opening hand and the same kind of situation that I showed on the previous hand, lacks 4-card heart support, has a spade stop, and either balanced or semi-balanced distribution, he can jump to 2 no trump. This is the same situation as 1 of a suit by opener, 1 of a suit by responder, 2 no trump by the opener. Shows the same sort of situation, 18 to 19 points. But in this case, it promises a stopper in the opponent's suit in blood, absolutely in blood. If he has a 6-card suit, and obviously here he does not have support for hearts, his best option here, since he lacks the values to reverse by bidding diamonds, he just rebids 2 clubs, 6-card suit, minimum hand. This next one shows a 6-card club suit, but an invitational level opening hand. 1 club, 1 spade, double, showing at least 4 hearts or maybe 5, and doesn't have 10 points. Well, I don't have heart support here for you yet, but I do have a very nice hand with at least 6 clubs in it. This bid shows a hand worth 16 to 18 points here, but doesn't have a 4-card heart suit. Now, here's an example of that Q bid. 1 diamond by west, 1 heart by north, and then double by east, showing 4 spades exactly. Whoops. Okay. Don't have that. I won't be rebidding spades. South passes. Now, this is a strong hand. 19 high card points in it. Partner has shown spades. West would like to play no trump, but he doesn't have a heart stop. He shows this kind of hand by bidding 2 hearts. This is a strange bid, isn't it? Why is he bidding the same suit that North bid, our opponent? What is that? Is that some kind of fancy limit raise? No. Remember, he's open. He doesn't have to use a Q bid to show an invitational or better hand here as responder. This is the opener. He's showing a strong hand. It's an artificial bid, obviously. And what he's doing is asking partner, saying, I really would like to play no trump, but I don't have a heart stop. Do you? Now then, he can either, if West can't support spades, he can bid no trump. He cannot bid no trump because he doesn't have the heart stop. And he can't really show any other suit naturally because notice he only has 3 clubs. That doesn't look very promising, does it? Hopefully, partner can bid 2 no trump here. If East has a heart stop, he's the one who needs to bid the no trump because he needs the lead coming up to his hand, not through it, if he's the one with the heart stop. That's another good reason for using the Q bid, so that West is not the declarer at 2 no trump. East is, so that the heart lead will come up to his hand. Now then, 1 club by your partner, 1 spade by your right-hand opponent, then double promises either 4 hearts exactly, with or without sufficient values to bid at the 2 level. You may have 11 or 12 points and only 4 hearts, remember. So if you only have 4 hearts, you're going to use the negative double no matter how strong your hand is. Or you may have 5 hearts, but not have the required 10 points to bid at the 2 level. It also shows either tolerance for the unbid minor or tolerance, meaning 3-card support for partners club suit. So, does anybody have a question before we go on? I'm very quickly going to go through these 8 little sample auctions, sample hands and auctions here, unless somebody has a question they'd like to ask first. Does anybody have that? Anybody have a question? Yes.
Susan, on page 6, could you go over what the response, what we should bid on that?
Well, partner opens a diamond, right-hand opponent bids a heart, 4, 5, 7, 9 high card points. Minimum responding hand, but you have 4 spades exactly. So you should use the negative double there. Once you have the negative double in your bidding toolbox, you can differentiate between a hand that has 4 spades and a hand that has 5 spades. When you have the negative double, you double with 4 of them. This hand has at least the required 6 points. It also has 4 spades, so double is the correct bid. If he had 5 spades, he would bid 1 spade. The beauty of that is now that partner now knows that if he has only 3 spades, he can comfortably raise. There's a huge advantage in knowing bids that show either 3-card support by the opener or show a 5-card major by the responder. And the negative double is a tool that can help you with the spade suit here. Notice that the opposite isn't necessarily true. If you have only 1 4-card major when the auction has gone 1 club, 1 diamond, you have to bid it, and that does not promise 5. When the auction has gone 1 club, 1 diamond, double shows 4 cards in both majors, but 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart shows at least 4 hearts and denies 4 spades. Does everybody see the logic in that? Because if you had 4 in each one of them, you would use the negative double. You wouldn't be bidding a suit. That's what the opener should infer from the bid of 1 heart. When you play negative doubles and the auction goes 1 club, 1 diamond, bidding one of the majors promises at least 4 cards in that suit and denies 4 cards in the other. That can be helpful to know. Did that answer your question, Ella?
Thank you.
All right, let's find this again. Whoop. All right.
And now Debbie has a question.
All right, Debbie, go right ahead.
So I just learned today that this negative double can show 5 in a major that you didn't have enough strength to go to the 2 level.
Okay.
And so if that's your situation, how do you get the message to your partner that you actually have 5?
Well, that can be difficult. You may not be able to do that. Not every system is perfect. You may get the opportunity if your hand is strong enough. Well, no, it's not. You don't have 10 points. The danger in bidding hearts after your partner bids something else is that he may have only 1 or 2 of them. Occasionally, you may miss a 5-3 fit. Now, if opener is, he had raw meat for breakfast, and he has 3 hearts in his hand. For instance, the auction's gone 1 club, 1 spade, double, pass. Oh, okay. Well, I have 3 hearts in my hand. I know my partner has at least 4. I don't have another suitable bid. He might bid hearts anyway. That is always one of the options. There is no good way to differentiate when the overcaller has bid spades between a hand that has 4 hearts and any amount of strength and the hand that has 5 hearts but fewer than 10 points.
So if you weren't vulnerable and the majority of your points were in a good heart suit and you had 5 hearts 9 points, would you go ahead and just overcall hearts?
That or respond hearts.
You
That depends
respond
on your
hearts?
partner's tolerance for bad scores, Debbie.
Okay.
That's a matter of partnership agreement. You should talk to your partner about that. Hey, if I have 9 high card points and a point for my 5th heart, may I go ahead and do this? This doesn't guarantee that your partner has 3 hearts. And now you're at the 2 level and you force the bidding. So take a
Okay.
deep breath when you do it, because you
All
may
right.
not like the outcome, but
Okay.
that's just one of those, you pays your money and you take your choice, you know?
Yeah, I just didn't real, I'm gonna have to talk to my partner about this because I never knew that you could double with 5. So this is something new to me. Thank you.
Well, hey, I like to go over this stuff periodically because I thought, oh, I forgot about that. That's right. I mean, even though I'm the one that puts these together, I don't always remember 100% of them. So I think review is always a good thing. All right.
Yes,
anybody else?
Susan, I have a comment.
Yes.
If you are in that situation and you can't bid at the 2 level, you would obviously pass your partner's 2 heart bid.
No, your
Correct.
partner's not. Well, your partner, if your partner, yes. Well, if you have a minimum hand, fewer than 10 points, and if your partner bids hearts opposite your double, yes, you're going to pass. But Debbie is saying, what if you're right on the cusp and I have a 5 card heart suit? Would you ever do that? Well, it would depend on how forgiving my partner is, what the vulnerability is, how the game's been going that day. Do we need a board? Or, that kind of thing. I mean, obviously there are other considerations that sometimes come into the picture, and everybody goes off the reservation once in a while.
I never do.
Oh.
That's a big joke.
Okay. So, but you're
Okay.
right. With that kind of hand, if opener does bid 2 hearts, then responder is going to pass. But I believe Debbie was asking me, well, but I have 5 hearts and I'm almost there. Couldn't I do it? Well, it's not up to me. It's up to your partner. So that's the kind of thing that you talk about with your partner. So, all right.
Susan, I have a quick question. You just
Yes.
mentioned the word vulnerability. Can you just maybe make a statement about using the negative double, being vulnerable and not vulnerable? Doesn't that
Well,
play a role?
if I've got the opportunity and the appropriate number of points, and I can use a negative double, I will do it. Particularly when I'm trying to locate a major suit fit. And if I think that, say I have an invitational level responding hand, and I think there's a possibility we might have a vulnerable game in that major suit, I'm going to do everything that I can do to try to find that fit. Now, if the opponents start preempting and pushing me around, then I will have to evaluate further, obviously. I can't emphasize to you guys about how really destructive, particularly 3-level preempts are. And that's why they're so popular, and it's why opponents like to use them. They make life difficult, and sometimes you end up with a less than optimal score because your opponent was smart enough to use one. That doesn't mean that you just wholesale bid any 7-card suit that you happen to hold. Although if your partner says, I don't care if it's 9 high, I will tell you that in a game I played recently, opening bidder opened 3 clubs with 6 of them to the 9. Now, he was vulnerable. My partner and I set that contract 3 tricks. We didn't have a game. So don't think just because you can jump in with the 3-level bid and you buy the contract. His partner had a singleton jack of clubs. We had the top clubs and we had far and away the preponderance of the points, but not enough to make a game. So we ended up with a top board on it because of the very injudicious use of an opening preempt. My partner made the comment, said that was just a stupid bid, and I have to say I agree with her. Opening 3 clubs vulnerable with a 9 high suit and only 6 of them is suicidal. That's not a sacrifice. That's slaughter. So be kind of careful when you do that. But if you have the right hand for a negative double, then I'm going to use it. Sherry, do you have another question?
Yeah, I want to go back to prior to this. You said when there's 2 minors bid, usually that means you have 4 of both majors. And then you threw in an exception there that says you're denying 4 of one of the majors.
Well, when you don't have 4 cards in each major, then you can't use the double.
Okay.
And failure to use the double shows 4 cards in the major you bid and denies 4 cards in the major you did not bid. Because if you'd had 4 in both of them, you'd have used the double.
Be sure that you make it clear that what you said applies to the auction 1 club, 1 diamond.
Diamond, yes.
1 club, 1 diamond. That's a special case.
Yes.
You know, it's
This is
important to
not the same
understand
thing
that that's
as 1 diamond, 2
different than 1
club.
club, 1 heart.
Yeah.
Or 1 club, 2
And this is
diamonds.
not, and this is not the same thing as 1 diamond, 2 clubs. In that auction, 2 minor suits have been bid, but now double by the responder promises only 1 4-card major suit. Both of those are special cases. 1 club, 1 diamond is a special case because double shows 4 cards in each major. 1 diamond, 2 clubs, double shows promises only 1. You may have both, but it promises only 1.
So 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart says I have 4 hearts and I do not have 4 spades.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Okay. Anybody else have a question? Anybody? I don't see any hands, but I don't see very many faces either. So don't hesitate to speak up if you have a question because I can only see 3 people. Okay. All right. Let's go through the quick quiz here. 1 club, 1 diamond. Let's take a look at number 1. This is an opening hand, isn't it? These are spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs.
1
What you
spade.
did.
1 spade.
Absolutely. Yes, 1 spade. Because I don't have a 4th heart. Because it opened 1 club, 1 diamond, I have to bid just the major that I have. All right, does everybody see that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Number 2, this is a great hand here. 18 high card points.
Double.
Double, yes. No ceiling on the negative double. This could have been 20 or 21 or even 28, all the 28 missing. No ceiling value on the negative double. Here's the next one.
1 heart.
Diamond,
1 heart.
1
1
heart.
heart. And if partner doesn't have 4 hearts, if he bids 1 spade, you have a fallback here. You have 5 clubs in your hand. So you can take a preference back to clubs if partner rebids spades over your heart bid. How about number 4?
1 no trump.
1 no trump. Yes, thank you, Gail. No 4-card major at all, but enough to bid. So flat hand, 6 to 9 points, no 4-card major. That's the perfect bid. Describes this holding absolutely perfectly. Okay, this time the auction's gone 1 club, 1 heart, and you hold hand number 1. What do you bid?
1 spade.
1 spade. Yes, promising 5. It's kind of a ratty suit, but that's all right. That's all right. Partner will know you have 5 of them. And if he has 3, he can raise. Okay, number 2. How about this one? One club, 1 heart, and we hold this.
Double.
Double. Absolutely. You can always go back to clubs if you need to. If partner doesn't have 4 spades with you. Okay, number 3.
Double.
Double.
Sure. Absolutely. This is a huge hand, but you still start with a negative double. Notice you couldn't bid no trump. You got a problem here in the opponent's suit. Okay, how about this next one?
One
Three
no,
no trump.
Somebody gets a gold star.
Three no trump.
Three no trump.
Why is it 3 no trump, Debbie?
Well, because of all the points that you have.
Yeah, you have an opening hand and you don't have a 4-card major suit. You do have heart stuff and the lead will be coming up to your hand. Your partner opened. Points have to be somewhere. They're probably not in the club suit. So hopefully they're in diamonds and spades, and he may have a little something in hearts also. So 3 no trump. Absolutely. Very good. All
And
right.
important that there aren't a lot of other options there that are forcing. You have to have a forcing bid or bid the game yourself.
Right. Dawn's exactly right. Because if you don't play inverted minors, well, this hand isn't right for an inverted minor either. But, well, and they're off with interference anyway. You don't have a forcing bid to make here after because your hand is 4-3-3-3. So Dawn is absolutely right. Lacking a forcing option, if you know where the hand should be played, then don't bid 2 no trump because partner can pass 2 no trump. He has an opening hand, you have an opening hand. Opening plus opening means game. The one who knows goes, and in this case, it's you. So you should bid 3 no trump. All right. Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for stopping by the Oklahoma Collective's YouTube channel. Basically, this channel shows recordings of our free 1-hour bridge lessons for advancing players that we offer every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you would like to join us, send your contact information to the email address shown on the screen, and we'll be happy to send you the link. If you would like to follow our channel and be notified when a new recording is uploaded, just click the Oklahoma Collective button below. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.